What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Week 14 High Stakes Fantasy Reaction Show on the Fantasy Savvy YouTube channel. I'm your host, Joe Carlton. Tonight, I am joined by the usual crew, Joey Brown, Josh Bolin, Dan Jewett, and a special guest reached out to me tonight, said he wanted to talk about his Eagles. Looking forward to that part of the show. We have Michael Gamberg from out of Philadelphia, or he's definitely initially Philadelphia. I think he might be in Colorado now. I don't know. That's what his profile.
I wish. Grew up in the Philly suburbs. I'm in Center City.
Nice. All right. So tonight we're gonna go over some Week 14 reactions, some takeaways from what happened over the course of the weekend. And of course, we'll get into Monday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles will all drop one prop bet apiece. Same deal as the past few weeks. Maybe we'll get close to hitting this time. We'll see. But enjoy the show. Like I said, we're gonna go over some games. We're gonna get ready for Week 15. Some stats and advice. If you guys have questions, leave them in the chat. We'll try to get to all the questions. But other than that, enjoy the show. All right, what's up, everybody? As always, we're going to start by asking how you guys did for the week. So we'll start with our special guest, Michael Gamberg, tonight. Mike, how did your fantasy teams fare this weekend? You got anything going for the playoffs? Let us know. Give us a rundown on your fantasy situation.
Yeah, it was a very good finish. I did about 13 OCs, and I got 6 teams in the shootout. 1 first place, 3 second place, and then 2 wild cards.
Nice.
And I'm probably most proud of one of my wild card teams. It was a team where I had Neighbors. I had Ridley. Neighbors first, Ridley like 4th or 5th round, and I also had Dobbins and Scatterbill. And that's the team I'm probably most proud of, really.
Nice. It's always the ones that you put the work into. I have one team, the New York Live 350. This one I've been hovering like 5th to 8th place for like the first 8 weeks. And then I got the team right. Guys started getting healthy. Rashee Rice, I drafted. He became active, and I started moving up the charts. And I finished in 3rd place, 1 point shy of 2nd place, and 2 points shy of 1st. That's how close the top 3 was. I'm probably most likely going to get into the shootout as a wild card, but I missed out on the league prizes by a point and 2 points, so it's kind of hurts a little bit. But I am most proud of that team because of the in-season management that I put into it. Out of all my teams, that was the one that I took from the middle of the pack, kind of below average, and I brought it to the top. And I believed in my roster build. And I stuck with it and was patient with it, and it's sad to see it didn't work out for a league title, but I'm hoping to get into the shootout and we'll make some noise there. But awesome, Mike. For those of you who don't know, Michael Gamberg is a fellow NFFC player from Philadelphia. He's fairly new to the website. He played high stakes, more so home league high stakes with his coworkers, and then when COVID hit, he was struggling to find a league, so he stumbled upon the NFFC. Good for you, man. That's exactly how I got into it. My home league died, and nobody took it serious anymore. Nobody wanted to keep it going, so I had to find somewhere else to play, somewhere that takes it serious, and that's kind of how I stumbled on the NFFC myself. So I love that path. Appreciate you coming on tonight. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me, and it's an honor. Like I said, I found Joe, and he was doing a live stream, and I was in there, and I reached out to him afterwards, and then picked up on his podcast with you guys, and he does another one, and it's great because there's not really much talk or in high stakes NFFC, and that's majority of what I play, and it's just it's a great community.
Nice.
There's a lot of great guys, and it's great competition, and it's fun. It's fun. I told Joe says you need the kicker for the Chargers tonight.
Yeah, I do.
I need Hurts, Brown, and I need the kicker for the Chargers. To in an auction, in my one auction, to get its first place, or I'm not even going to make the overall. And I said, oh, you know what? I hope you get it, Joe. I hope you get it, and maybe Hurts and Brown can combine. I need like 55 points, and maybe they can combine it for themselves or whatever. I said that's karma, So I'm rooting for you there.
Nice. I appreciate it, man. Yes. I need the Chargers kicker to get 8.94 or less, to be exact. If that happens, so it's happened 5 out of 12 times this year. So I give myself a 43% chance of winning. I'll take it. It's the only way I'm going to get a chance to play for some cash in the prime time. Otherwise, I'm 8th in points. I don't know how I'm 9-4, but I'm 9-4. I need 3. I also need 3 points out of Devonta Smith. Let's not forget about that half of the deal. But that seems more of a shoe-in than the Chargers kicker going under 9 points. But we'll hope to see. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm not going to get upset if it doesn't happen. I'm not expecting that to happen, but sometimes you need luck. So I'm hoping luck is on my side tonight. So the point why we're here, Dan, Josh, what about your teams before we move on? We spent so much time on me and Michael's team, we forgot about you guys.
Josh, I'll let
Go
you
ahead,
talk.
Dan.
I'm gonna let you talk about the prime time because that's a fun one. We have 4 prime times together, and we got a pretty cool scenario I'll let Josh tell you about. This was the first year me and Josh tried the 350s, and we've got one team doing really, really good, and it's a stacked team. We were in first place from week 1 to week 13. Lost it this week. We're in second place, so we'll be out of the shoot. We'll be in the shootout on that, but it's the best team we drafted by far. So I really think we got a shot of making some noise in the 350s. On a personal level, I've been a guillotine league from NFFC. I do one every year, and it's something I've done really well at. I've playoffed 4 of the last 5 years, so made the playoffs this year, and this is the first year they're doing the big tournament. So about middle of the pack there. Didn't have a great week. Didn't have a bad week. And then advanced to Scott Fish Bowl. So Joe, I didn't look for you. Did you advance?
I didn't look at the leaderboard, but my team is not doing well.
I'm really close, but I got Hampton tonight, so I should be advancing.
What's the cut line? What's the cut line overall?
It's 1,000 people. It's 495 right now.
Okay, I'm right on the cusp. Yeah,
it'll go up a little bit tonight. So
I have Gadsden tonight, and I might have somebody else. I got to think about it. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, but my team has had a down week overall. So sucks not having Jackson Dot, and I played Daniel Jones got hurt during the game, right? Yeah, that hurt me. My team decimated as the season went on. I lost Tucker Kraft, that hurt. I had Joe Flacco active for a little while. I had a lot of I had 4 active quarterbacks at one point, so I was, matchup. I was picking the right ones too. I don't know how. I guess Scott Fishbowl scoring is easier, in my opinion. I think it's like that scoring system was awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the scoring system, but it was just easier to make start and sit decisions based on, tailored to that scoring system as opposed to standard, in my opinion. But yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'm on the cusp. I think I need some help tonight. So
in our prime time, and I'll get it all mixed up, but we need Quentin Johnston to outscore Ladd McConkey by 1 point.
Oh, only by 1.
And if we do, then we're in the 3-week shootout. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, we'll be in first place, but we won't. We'll have to play 3 weeks to get all the money.
You'll split
right.
the
Yeah, you'll be guaranteed cash, though. You'll be guaranteed cash.
We're going to get third if not, but boy, it'd be nice to get that first place for us.
Absolutely.
I'm chasing
this
that
is
title
as
too.
close as we've come. And what's crazy is last night we needed Houston D and we needed Pat Mahomes to have a really bad game. I had zero hope. Zero hope.
I agree.
Me and Dan we were tilting harder than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And he fell asleep. And I'm texting and I'm watching the game and I'm like, dude, Patrick Mahomes is having the worst game of his freaking career. Maybe the stars are aligning. So come on, Quentin Johnston.
Texans D outscored Mahomes by like 5.5. That put us.
I needed Kelsey and Rice to do shit, and they both did it. But I also needed Rice in a couple of the leagues. If he didn't drop a pass, maybe I wouldn't have fallen a point shy on that New York 350. But it is what it is. Joey, how's your teams going, man? You got anything going?
I've got smaller stuff going, but now the bullet that hurt me. I about killed. That's one of my better teams, but it's scored 1,923 points with 2 players left, and still not going to get in. So, I mean, I just finished 5th, but that's just how it goes. Can't overcome Drake London. I ain't making no excuses, but, I could have, if I had picked up Michael Wilson, that would have probably been leveled off a little bit, but that's just how it goes. I've been on both ends of it. I've won some, and I'm gonna come up short, but that's just how it goes. I'm gonna finish 5th in both leagues, Primetime and Bullet. But now Primetime was beat up bad. I mean, you lost Tucker Kraft, lost Drake London. DJ Moore was a bust. I was hoping he got traded. And just Chuba Hubbard lost his job early on Primetime. And then just bad luck. Just still finished 5th. I'm fine with that. Just on the NFBC, I guess. Baseball.
Oh, stop it, Joey. We
No,
still
I'm
got the
fine.
We still got
I'll
the
be
playoff contest. You got Dynasty.
Oh yeah, I'll still have fun. I'm still learning. I'm ready for 2026. We'll be
Nice.
ready.
Nice. All right. So let's get to some Week 14 takeaways. I'm gonna start with the guy underneath me, Josh Bolin. You lead us off. Give us a Week 14 take. What would you see? What do you want to talk about?
As usual, I might as well just go ahead and start off with the Colts like I always do. Danny Dimes, I've talked about him almost every week for probably 6 or 7 weeks, and the dude was out there playing with basically a broken leg and then blows his Achilles. And I mean, whether you're a fan of the guy or not, like, man, your heart's just got to go out to him and the Colts fans. I know quite a few Colts fans, and like, they've been through it there for a few years, and they looked so good. And then Riley Leonard comes in, and I read where he's got a knee injury, and he could be iffy. And this is late-breaking news that broke 5 minutes ago.
I seen that.
The crafty veteran Phillip Rivers will be in the house in Indianapolis tomorrow, trying out for possibly the practice squad. I mean, has it been 3 years since Phillip Rivers played, I think, or maybe even longer? Man, that's
Digging deep, right?
I don't know.
Nice. I like it because I'm a Phillip Rivers fan, man. I always thought that
Jacob's breaking it right behind me.
I always
they're going to need to buy 100 tickets to get his whole family come watch him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But, I don't know, man. The Colts, for as good of a season as they were having, it does not look promising from here on out for them. It looks rough because if Riley Leonard can't play, then I really don't know who they're going to have at quarterback. And I mean, Phillip Rivers being out of the league for a couple of years, I can't imagine that's going to be good. That poor guy couldn't hardly throw a football. I mean, his last season, 2 seasons.
Like
so
my wife chiming in.
That's probably true.
I was going to say that. Yeah. You're right.
yeah.
So let me ask you this, guys. Jonathan Taylor in the last 5 weeks, he gave us going back to week 9. Week 9 at Pittsburgh, 7.7 points. Week 10, big outlier, 49.6 total against Atlanta. But now going forward, week 12, 8.6 points at KC. Against Houston, 15.1 points, stays out of the end zone. Now, last week, 12.4 points gets in the end zone, but only 12.4 fantasy points. Are we concerned about Jonathan Taylor's production down the stretch? Anybody? jump
Yeah,
in?
if they're going to stack the box, they can nobody throw the ball. I mean,
Jonathan Taylor owners should maybe – obviously, you're still going to play him, but, I mean, are we expecting the 25-plus points?
I wouldn't think so. This week he's got the Seahawks,
Right.
another decent defense, but then he's got the Niners the following week that maybe he can put some points up on. But man, he really ran through the gamut there for a couple of weeks with some defenses. I don't know. I mean, I said it right here on this show that I really thought that he could have a couple more 3-touchdown games, and maybe I jinxed him. I don't know. But he went from looking so tough to teams have figured it out, but I don't know.
That schedule took its toll. I mean, I mentioned it briefly once we got to week I want to say week 9 or week 10 maybe, and I looked ahead and you saw at Kansas City, Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, like all of these games, like even San Fran at the time. San Fran's defense wasn't completely depleted, but then you got Jacksonville again in week 17, and Jacksonville did a pretty good job containing them. I mean, he only averaged 3.5 yards per carry. He did have a fumble. He didn't lose it, but he did cough up the ball. The only time that he has all year. So obviously we're not feeling good about week 17's matchup. I think we should, temper some expectations. I'm with you, Josh, on that one. Joey, you wanted to add something?
I think Alec Pierce is going to be hurting too. I mean, he's been a big part of the passing game. They don't get nobody to throw it. I mean, whole team should go down a little bit.
Did you see that Alec Pierce had an undisclosed injury on the last drive, and they're not saying what it is?
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know what happened. But I just read that earlier this morning.
Really?
I like this comment. Hampton over Barkley. I actually like Vidal. I don't know why. I still think Vidal is fantasy relevant tonight. Am I crazy for that?
If things hold true, this is the ramp up game for Hampton. We've seen it with a couple other running backs this year, where their first game back's a little bit of a ramp up, and then it's the following week. Bucky Irving would be the outlier on that, but I mean, I think Vidal can still have a good game tonight.
Nice.
I mean,
Mike,
the Bears.
Mike, go ahead, Joe.
I said the Bears, Menengai and Swift both ran on Michael's Eagles. So I mean, it's possible both of them have a good game and limit Herbert from re-injuring that hand. He plays reckless at times, but
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Mike.
I think Vidal's going to be big tonight. I think, Chargers got to win. Hampton coming back, he's a rookie. I mean, Bucky Herbert, wasn't a rookie. I think they'll fit him in, but they got to win this game. And Vidal's been good. Harbaugh, he'll probably mix them in, like you said. It's a ramp up game. But this is they're what 8-4. They go 8-5. I mean, that's dangerous, right? You try to make the playoffs, it's going to get it makes it tougher. Also, there's the thing on Taylor. I think I got a couple shares of them, and one of it's one of the teams I have them paired actually with McCaffrey, and those were my second and third picks. It was with a team I wanted to get Genty, and I went from 12 and the ADS. And I got 7, and I took Genty at the first round, and then I got the other guys. But if you look at last year, I mean, Barkley and Henry were big, but they ran out of gas, and those teams didn't do anything in the shootout. If you had them, they just they got you there. That's the problem with these running backs. They take they wear and tear. Can they do it when we need them in weeks 15, 17? Now without the quarterback, it's going to make it tougher on them. I mean, the schedule, they got the Jags. They got a couple home games which aren't bad, but what did you say? They got Seattle next week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a tough one to start you off, really, right? So I don't know these guys. It's that team I have with those two guys, McCaffrey, even get to the playoffs. I mean, it's can they get those explosive games? It's when you get into late December.
Nice. All right, so we'll go over to Dan. Dan, you have another takeaway from Week 14 games on Sunday?
Yeah, the biggest thing me and Josh were looking forward to was watching that Rams game. Our primetime team that we referenced earlier we have Hurts and Brown, and we also have Stafford and Puka. And I got to thank Joey, man. 2 months ago when he talked about Stafford, we didn't need him and we went out and grabbed him, and we've been playing him pretty much every week over Hurts. But boy, Stafford getting back with Puka was really nice for us. Puka had a huge game, couple huge catches. It was nice to see him going to Puka a little bit more than Adams, but I still think Adams is going to get his 4 touchdowns for that record. But man, the Rams just look like the best team in football. I wouldn't want to see the Rams defense looks good. It was interesting to see Blake Corum. He almost looked as good, if not better, than Kyren. Both the running backs look really good, and was a great game for the Rams. And I hope they keep cooking. I hope they don't sit those last couple weeks, but I don't think they will. Maybe week 18, but that shouldn't affect us. But I'm gonna be real curious if in the shootout if somebody's got Stafford and Puka or somebody's got Stafford and Adams, if one of those kind of teams doesn't jump to the top. But and I'll let somebody else talk about the Cardinals on the other side. But what a junk game for them that just propels the people in the playoffs, I'm sure.
Michael Wilson? Are we referring to Michael Wilson and his
11? I mean, what a pickup there. I mean, 3 straight weeks. I mean, he literally could take you from 5th or 6th to 1st or 2nd with just his performance. And he was – me and Josh were talking earlier. He was on the waiver wire the week before Harrison got hurt. And now with Harrison being injured again, I don't know what his outcome is or his injury status is, but if Harrison doesn't play the rest of the year or is out a couple weeks, I mean, Michael Wilson could be he will be a league winner, I believe.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I mean, since he's been since he's had the opportunity to be the number 1 wide receiver, he is absolutely, talking about double-digit receptions, multiple touchdowns, 25 plus fantasy points this past week, 37.2. I had him in the flex in a couple of spots. I actually have a Brissett, Michael Wilson stack in 2 spots. And
that's going to be a good combo.
Yeah. it's got me I think it's going to win me my first, or at least I finished in first with the record in the points for. Obviously, there's a 4-team playoff, but if the season were to end just based on total points and there was a cash prize for that without the 3 weeks matchup, then I would have taken it based on that those two alone. I mean, I had McBride. I overpaid for McBride in the auction, so I kind of stuck with the Arizona theme. I had Kyler Murray, and I want to say I had JJ McCarthy. And I couldn't afford to be patient with him, so I had to make something happen. I took a shot on Brissett, threw him in there that first week. He got a 27, and I rolled with him ever since. And he's been 25 to 30 in it every single week, and he's been pretty solid. If you had quarterback issues, if you lost Joe Burrow, he was definitely a roster saver for sure. The Cardinals. Yeah, Albert. Cardinals play the Texans in Week 15. This definitely poses a bit of an issue, especially in a 3-week shootout where you need all 3 weeks to count. Those two particular teams I was talking about, I have to look at. I know one of them I have a competent backup quarterback, so I'll have to look at the matchups and definitely take a closer look at that. But as long as Harrison's out, I'm rolling Michael Wilson no matter what. I think you have.
I mean, look how many points they got in junk time yesterday. I mean, a lot of that game was out of hand. I mean, you hate banking on that, but I'm not sitting Wilson. Brissett, I'd have to have a good option.
All right, we'll roll next in line is Michael. Mike, anything you want to talk about from Week 14 Sunday games? And anything stick out to you? Anything you want to share?
Dan made a point on the on Corum. I mean, I have, Kyron Williams. He was like, I usually don't draft running backs typically first in the NSC, but he was like my third. Take 2 wide receivers and Williams, and those teams. I don't think I got any of those teams into the shootout. But the thing is, if I going forward, even in the console, I mean, I always had Corum with them. I mean, every Williams, or in case of Jacobs, same with Wilson. I mean, you could actually, in the playoffs, I think you could play both of them if you didn't have a better option. I mean, Corum was, he was a thorn. I mean, first it was Adams with the 1-yard touchdowns, and then I think McVay's smart. I think they did that to really appease Adams, keep these wide receivers. They want to get, because let's be honest, I mean, first and goal on the 1. I mean, I'm sure that's on. They could have run the ball and get it in most of those times, but that was smart. And now if you got William, you're dealing with Corum because he actually did. They both look good, but Corum was impressive. I mean, cool. Big change of 180 from last year.
Absolutely. I always thought Blake Corum would have the opportunity to be a awesome goal line running back in the NFL. So he's definitely showing that. Joe, why don't we kick it over to you, man? Why don't you give us something you want to share about Week 14 with us?
I think these teams that's going into shootouts need to be concerned with Tampa Bay's offense. I mean, Ibuka, he's got 9 targets. He's getting the targets. I mean, it's one of them things. If you got a better option, do you play them over? But the target share it's been great, but he dropped an easy one in the end zone. Baker's not playing well. I think Ibuka's missed Mike Evans just like every Mike Evans owner has. I think he needs Evans back. I don't think he's a true number 1. I mean, I could be wrong, but he don't impress me. And then on the other side of it, Devin Neal for the Saints in that game looked really good this weekend. I mean, the people who picked him up like Michael Wilson, he ain't been Michael Wilson status yet, but he could be a difference maker in these shootouts to people who might have picked him up. But Tampa just looks bad. They look, I don't know. The offense looked bad.
Yeah, the offense
Thursday night, don't they?
Yeah, quick turnaround. They got Atlanta.
So you don't get the luxury of waiting until Saturday to figure out if you're starting Igbuka or
Yeah.
what's going on. I think
It's a
Mike
playoff
Evans is
game,
going to
though.
play though. Yeah, you
It's
got. I mean, you
against
got
Carolina.
to go with what got you there, but.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the Tennessee Titans. They played at Cleveland against a top-notch defense and showed out. I mean, they won the game 31-29. And I didn't see that coming. Tony Pollard comes out of nowhere, 25 carries, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tajay Spears is involved, but not enough to put a dent in Tony Pollard's volume. You know, Pollard showed RB1 volume here. The wide receivers, Ayamana and DK, each found the end zone. Nobody really stuck out as far as the fantasy line goes. You know, DK 5 catches, 24 receiving yards. Ayamana only had the 1 catch for a touchdown. Cam Ward, fairly conservative all around offense. It seems like Tennessee ran the ball effectively. And it only resulted in 28 pass attempts from Cam Ward, but he was pretty efficient. He did have 2 passing touchdowns. Not great fantasy wise, but as an NFL quarterback, I feel like he is taking positive steps along the way in his first season, and I'm looking forward to him in 2026. Could be a discount, a late round discount. Would love to see what Tennessee does with their roster in the offseason. Just my notes from taking a look at this game as far as the Tennessee Titans standpoint goes. You guys have any thoughts to add on this, or do you want to move on to your next take, Josh?
Well, I know Albert mentioned Fannin in the comments there.
Yeah.
Big game by him. Big game by Shadur Sanders. I'm not a Shadur Sanders fan. I'm not saying he's going to be anything special. But if he gets time to throw, he does throw a pretty ball. And he was putting it on the money yesterday, and that was a bad weather game. I mean, it wasn't as nasty as Jacksonville or as Tampa or maybe Buffalo, but it was still mixing some snow and some rain in there. But he threw 364 yards, and Fannin, man, and Njoku caught the touchdown for 1 yard. But other than that, I think Fannin's taking that role. He'll you don't know who's going to be quarterback there next year.
So I think Njoku left with an injury, right?
Didn't get hurt.
Yeah, it opened the door. I mean, Fannin 8 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown. He certainly took advantage. He's somebody I have. Me and Steve have him on the team we share. I actually think we started him too. It was I'm not sure if it was I think we played 2 tight ends this week. Not that it mattered much because second place was kind of locked up as is. Like we weren't catching first place, third place ain't catching us. So we just decided, we'll throw 2 tight ends in there. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to hurt us. But he 25.4 fantasy points definitely worked out. It's good to see him. I feel like when Njoku is definitely not present, he is tight end 1 legit. Trustworthy, put him in your lineup, expect 10 plus points. He is that guy. So be interesting to see what they do with Njoku in the offseason, all the trade rumors that were leading up to this year. Not sure if they're going to continue into 2026 with 2 tight ends, but Harold Fannin has certainly displayed tight end 1 material for sure. They had a field day. Nice. Appreciate you tuning in. Want to shout out the chat, everybody listening, tuning in to us live. We appreciate you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. You're not subscribed to Steve's channel, Fantasy Savvy. Good shows all week long. Steve does them late night, but can always catch them the next day while you're at work, on the way home, driving, sitting in traffic, whatever. Always a good show, always good insight. So hit the like button for us if you enjoy the content. Subscribe, of course. We're gonna move on to Dan. You're up.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do this or not, Josh.
Oh man.
I'm wearing the hat, so I need to talk about the Bengals a little bit for everybody out there. Josh saw me about throw a pool ball through my big screen TV yesterday. I might have been a little upset. Might have said a few cuss words. Apologize to the fantasy gods out there that are watching Quentin tonight. But for the Bengals fans out there, if you got them in fantasy, I mean, they had a good day as far as T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Joe Burrow had a pretty decent day. Jamar Chase was pretty quiet yesterday. I was kind of surprised on that. But what I wanted to talk about was there's a couple things I like to talk about with the Bengals, but here locally they're talking about T. Higgins all morning, and I don't think T. Higgins, Josh, you can jump in here. I don't think he plays another snap this year. How he got through both of those head hits without getting pulled. We got pulled once, and then he came back and he got hit again. So if you got T. Higgins, I definitely would, be looking elsewhere. But I know waivers are over in most leagues. If you can grab Gesicki when T. Higgins is out, Gesicki just eats. And I think I don't have it in front of me. I think he had 6 for a good amount of yards yesterday, and he had the six catches and a touchdown. So I'm a little nervous for Bengals and fantasy going forward. I mean, you're not going to bench Chase, you're not going to bench Burrow, but they were playing with a lot of heart yesterday, and they lost. And I don't look for a good week against Baltimore this week. But one other thing for the Chase Brown owners out there, we saw a ton of Pirine again, short yardage and third down back. Chase Brown still managed to get a lot of catches. Have a good fantasy day. He dropped the touchdown, but he caught a touchdown. But there was a lot of Pirine yesterday, and Josh knows how much I love Samaje Pirine. But I don't. Roto's snap share wasn't updating this morning. I wanted to look to see how many they each got, but it had to be pretty even. But Josh, did you hear anything more on T? I haven't talked to you about it.
No, but he obviously passed the concussion test yesterday, and then this morning or late last night he started to have concussion symptoms, and 2 concussions in 3 weeks. You got to believe that he's probably done for 2 to 3 weeks at a minimum. I think if they don't win this Sunday, if they win this Sunday, then they're going to see another glimmer of hope and they'll be in for another week. But if they lose this Sunday, I agree with Dan. I think T's done. You got to protect your brain. I mean, that's the number one thing. So, and if there's not a reason to go out there, don't go out there and blow an ACL or get a 3rd concussion and end your career or something stupid like that. It's for as big a day as he had, it's just a shame that he won't be there for the teams that's got him in the playoffs.
Yeah. In the DMs, what did I say? I was like, T. Higgins concussion 100%, and then they put him back in the game. I was like, oh, I guess not. But it didn't look good. You could just see the way he hit his head and the way he sat up and just his reaction.
He knew it too. Yeah,
he's re-entered in the concussion protocol earlier
today.
Yeah.
What do you guys think if they lose this coming week with Burrow? You think he plays it out if he's healthy? What are they going to? I mean, I agree with Higgins. They should. You're right.
Burrow runs the team. This is what Josh said earlier. Burrow's running that team. He's not going to sit.
Right.
Yeah. He's trying to set an example. He says there's things that he says, and he says them a certain way. And he's sending a message, but he does it like in the most professional way possible. And, he wants to play football and he wants to put on a show for the fans. And I believe he's going to be out there until they drag him off the field.
So basically, Burrow in the shootout, you're fine with, he'll perform even without Higgins. As long as he has Chase, so that team's going to score points.
Yeah.
Well, they got to get garbage points too.
I could see Chase having a hamstring if we lose this week. and just be done, because he knows protecting his body is the most important thing. And if there's nothing to play for, don't go out there.
Yeah. A few weeks back, you guys mentioned, specifically you, Josh. I remember you touching on it, the possibility of that happening down the stretch with the Bengals offense, the possibility of the star players shutting down based on the fact that they're out and they really have nothing to play for other than.
You think basically, I could see that with Chase. You think it's. I mean, it's kind of like itself. I mean, Burrow is going to stay out. If Chase is out, you think they just keep. Even if I know he's a gamer, man. The guy's he's. But if Chase is sitting, why would you play Burrow? I mean, why would they? You know what I'm saying?
Because Zach Taylor's trying to save his job,
Right? Yeah.
And I think Joe Burrow really likes Zach Taylor. And I think that maybe he's out there trying to play to keep Zach's job.
You think that's a foregone conclusion though already? Unless they make the play.
not in Cincinnati.
Not in Cincinnati. There's an excuse there. There's week 2 when Burrow got hurt, we knew that Zach Taylor most likely would not be fired because he's got an excuse.
Right.
And no matter what happened the rest of the season, he didn't have Burrow. So,
Right.
All right. Well, my blood pressure's up, so
I'm done. I'm going home.
Dan, to touch
I
on
thought
that.
me and Dan had a deal here. That's why I started off with the Colts. Like, we're not talking about the Bengals. I just wear it because I can't hide from it.
Nice. So Dan, to touch on your running back snap share, Chase Brown played 40 snaps, Samaje Perine 22.
All right, so 2-1.
Yeah, so Perine was on the field for half of his snaps were on passing downs. Chase Brown, also half of his snaps were on passing downs. He doubled Chase Brown all around in touches. I mean, Chase Brown doubled Perine all around in touches. But yes, for sure, as a Chase Brown owner and investor, and I wish I didn't invest so much in Chase Brown this year, but I did notice that there is a little too much Perine for our liking.
Absolutely.
I suppose. But we'll kick it over to Joey. Joey, you've been quiet, man. Give us another takeaway.
I'm gonna say Jordan Love's gonna be big in this shootout too for people. He's got 7 touchdowns and 1 interception over the last 2 games, and he's got Chicago again in 16, and he's got the Ravens in 17. And Christian Watson's looking like, he was really efficient on 4 targets. I mean, you can't bank on that all the time, but I think he's the alpha right down there. But they got Denver this week. It might be a little slower, but 2 out of 3 weeks, these shootout. Jordan Love's going to play. He's going to help you out. I think Green Bay looked good. He's looked good the last 2 weeks.
They got Denver at Chicago, then Baltimore at home in week 17. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely potential shootout.
They got Jaden Reed back this week, too.
Yeah.
That's big for them.
Even as good as Watson looked, he had 4 targets. I mean, he only had 4 targets, but, took 2 of them to the house. But he looks really good, though. He looks really healthy for now, but he's looked good. The people who drafted him and held on to him or picked him up before he came back. But Green Bay's offense, like I said, I think Jordan Love's going to be a little bit of difference maker for people who might have him.
Nice. So we didn't talk about it. I want to discuss the Thursday night game a little bit, the Dallas-Detroit shootout that we got finally, a total of 74 points on both ends. Jared Goff and Dak Prescott each throw a touchdown apiece. Javonte Williams and David Montgomery each run for a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had the monster game with 3 rushing touchdowns and 7 catches for 77 yards. Gibbs seems like he's locked in as a star RB1. I'm not seeing any issues with his production in the shootout. I mean, he does have a tough matchup in Week 15 at LA against the Rams. But then week 16 against Pittsburgh, week 17 at Minnesota. So I suppose that, he does have two tough matchups, but he is, cemented himself as the key focal point of the Detroit offense. I don't see why you'd be concerned about not playing Gibbs. It's good to see Amon-Ra play active. He wasn't a decoy either. What I say in the DMs, guys, 6 for 68. I thought was a conservative prediction. He ended up 6 for 92. So he did better than I thought he was gonna. I saw the highlights pregame. He looked pretty good. He didn't look like he was by any means in pain. He was cutting off of that off of his ankle real good. I think him coming out of the game the week before immediately and not continuing to play on it had a big impact on that. And I'm gonna say that going forward, no concerns over St. Brown. But however, Jameson Williams, he did end up going 7 for 96. Didn't get in the end zone. We know he's been inconsistent throughout the year. Jared Goff had 34 passing attempts in this game. It was a high scoring shootout, and he managed to get 17 points. Are you guys concerned about playing Jameson Williams in the shootout going forward? Are you worried about that bad game, or are you guys rolling him out and just, chasing his sailing, and you don't care if he gives you a bad game? I mean, how are you approaching Jameson Williams?
Not of late, I think you look since Campbell, took that playbook basically, like rightfully so. He wanted, he got Gibbs and going, and he got Williams going. Williams almost had that touchdown. What was it on the half? They caught a touchdown, and it basically was on the half-yard line. Now, I think if you got like you said, Gibbs. You got Detroit. They're controlled environments. The last 3 games, it's wheels up. I think it's, and plus they got no tight ends anymore, basically.
There you go.
Williams, 9 targets. I think he's been powerful. Basically, I wish Campbell took that control earlier in the season. It would have been a different story for the JMO teams. But it is what it is. I think St. Brown, Gibbs, Williams.
Yeah.
I went to the Gibbs. Montgomery looks good. He looks okay. You wish, I think it was, I don't know the percentages this year. It's not even close to 50-50. It's much more Gibbs. But when I went to, saw Detroit, you see it, it's like anything. You see these guys live. Seen a lot of players live. He was the most impressive. Gibbs was the most impressive player I've seen live. I saw what Bijan last year live. He's great. Gibbs, he
sticks out. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
He's gone. He's just getting moved in small spaces. He just can cut and accelerate. I never most impressive player on the field that I've seen all year. A lot, and I've seen a lot of good ones, but yeah.
Shout out to our guy Josh Bowling for calling out Ryan Flournoy as a nice little stash wide receiver 3s for depth. If you're a CD Lamb owner or a George Pickens owner and you don't have wide receiver depth, we suggested you go out and get Flournoy and you add him in for these shootouts or any playoff format where you can't make free agent moves throughout the playoffs. Flournoy was a great suggestion by Josh to add as depth piece. Obviously, you're not going to rely on him. You're not going to start him and bank on his 9 catches, 115 yards and a touchdown. But you're adding him because if your George Pickens or your CD Lamb happens to get a concussion and miss a game or two, you can plug in Flournoy, and it's probably a better play than the rest of the depth that the rest of your bench wide receivers that you have. on your roster. It's like a security blanket type of move.
Especially if you have Dak.
Yeah,
Right.
these come in handy for sure, and it'll also add some uniqueness to your lineup in the event that you do have to plug him in, and he has a big game. You're probably one of very few that has him in the lineup in the shootout. These shootouts are loaded with some of the best teams in the contest. So if you're in this type of competition, then a little bit of uniqueness goes a long way, and we all know that from DFS streets. You're always trying to sniff out the one guy that's not owned by that many people, and you hope that he pops off, and then it gives you the edge. That is the edge when you're sharing players amongst everybody. So something to keep in thought. Good call, Josh, because he came up big with George Pickens kind of laying down. I don't know. He did. Joe, you get some thoughts on this?
I don't know. I guess he just took his spell like he was with Pittsburgh. He pout for a little while, but I mean, he's had a good season. I mean, everybody's still going to use him, but no, he didn't. I guess he won't be the guy. I guess he didn't like when Josh's guy was getting all the catches and stuff. But
was the game script? Was it, hey, look, man, they're probably going to cover you this way, and if they do, then we're going to go this way? Because before CD got hurt, Flournoy had 2 or 3 targets
already. Yeah,
and then then CD goes out. Flournoy's still getting fed, but Pickens is over there going back to his Steeler days, and this dude's a free agent, and there's teams out there that are just salivating over him, hoping to be able to throw him a contract like, oh, if you've matured and this is who you are, then come here and be our alpha. But after what he showed last week, like, now teams are going, all right, well, now I don't know if we can throw him that big guaranteed money anymore or offer him a big contract, because is he going to be a diva half the time and pout?
right.
He got a face mask like completely away from the play, and I think it was in like the first or second quarter. Like, it was still early on, and just got a stupid face mask call. Like, gotta keep your head, man.
Nice. I'm gonna bounce us over to the Miami Dolphins offense. I gotta shout out Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle. I think that this offense has become condensed to just that. Darren Waller is a throw-in. Malik Washington, he's kind of a throw-in. Ollie Gordon get mixed in. These guys are all just kind of the mix and match part of the offense. But when it comes down to it, it's Jalen Waddle, it's Devon Achane. He made it through the season unscathed, and he's rewarded his fantasy owners in the process. Gave us 7 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Only 1 catch for 13 yards in this game, but 17.5 fantasy points. An absolute beast all year. Let's take a quick look at Miami's playoff schedule. They got at Pittsburgh week 15, at home against Cincinnati week 16, and then week 17 against what seems to be a reeling Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense at home. Three pretty good matchups as far as running backs are concerned. I think Achane could be a difference maker in the shootout. Ollie Gordon's involved, but it's a pretty condensed offense. It's a team that's been playing from behind most game scripts. Although they did beat up on the Jets in this one, 34-10, but you can count on Achane being involved in the passing game when they're behind. Albert mentions Achane has a rib injury. Is it serious? You guys, Josh, you're nodding your head. You want to give me some insight on this rib injury? What do you got?
I mean, that happened mid to late second quarter, and he didn't come back. After the game, they said that they could have brought him back if they needed him. I guess at this point, it just depends on how tough he is. I mean, it was bad enough that he left the game, so of course they had it in hand at that point. But
Right.
Never know.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you have HN, you're starting him if he's active. You're not benching him. There's no way you can bench a guy that can go off for 30 points. So, Jalen Waddle, one of the best values in 2025 in drafts, in my opinion. He's never came cheaper than this year. You could have got him in the 6th, 7th round in some drafts, usually right in that range. It's given us solid wide receiver 2 value all year. 7 targets, 5 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. He's given us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games with double-digit fantasy points. On the year, he's 57 catches, 812 yards, and 6 touchdowns going into the fantasy football playoffs. Can't complain. Guy's been paid off for once in his career as a fantasy asset. So shout out to the Jalen Waddle owners. You can plug him in. Miami offense is pretty condensed. What do you guys think about Darren Waller? Are you trusting Darren Waller down the stretch? Joey?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's more condensed, like you all talking. I mean, I think it's just HN and Waddle.
What was his snap share yesterday? Because I did not see him hardly at all. Maybe I was just missing.
That's a good question. I'll take a quick look. We'll see.
I think that there's probably one game in the playoffs that you could trust Waller. There happens to be a certain team.
Oh, okay.
Dan's Cincinnati Bengals defense is struggling against tight ends.
Hell, Joey just 100 yards against him. If you get tight end.
That's true.
All right. Tight end snap share. We have Darren Waller played 24 snaps. Julian Hill, 33. Greg Dulcich, 35. But Dulcich and Waller ran the same amount of routes.
Okay.
So pretty much. I mean, we've seen this all year. It's Darren Waller gets a little bit used, and then he's finally healthy, and then they fully use him, and he gets hurt. So it's like nothing new to us. So maybe that's the direction it's headed in. I guess if you don't have the greatest of tight ends rooms and you do have Darren Waller, maybe you can roll him out there, especially against the Cincinnati defense, as you guys mentioned. But yeah, he's more of a matchup based, we'll say, in my opinion. I don't know if we want to trust him all 3 weeks, but if you don't have any other choice, then it is what it is. So, but we are approaching the 8:00 hour. You know what that means? We jump over to the Monday Night Football game. Tonight we got the San Diego Chargers. Yeah, San Diego. LA Chargers. Yeah, that's the Phillip Rivers news hitting me. I want to see the San Diego Chargers. Yeah. Versus the Michael's Philadelphia Eagles. That's why I have the green on. I made a joke earlier. I'm in the sports affiliation listener expert league. I have a Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley stack. I clinched the playoffs last week, and the guy I'm facing this week, Iggy, shout out to Iggy, the co-founder of the sports affiliation, great dude. He's facing off against me, and he needs to beat me to get into the playoffs. And I joked with him. I said, I think I might sit Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley out of spite. Take the zeros, let you get in, just to send a message that they need to get on the same page as AJ Brown. And I know, Mike, we touched on it before we went live backstage before we went live, and I'm thinking that Jalen Hurts is the problem here, not so much the weapons that he has. I know that Sirianni's a conservative head coach. I know he relies on his defense to win the football games and, just kind of grind out the time of possession. But I want your thoughts on the entire Philadelphia Eagles situation. How their outlook for the rest of the season. How you feeling about them?
It's going to be it. As a season ticket holder and forever. Yeah, I think it's Patul might not be the greatest, but I think it's Hurts. I mean, last year, Barkley was off the charts. The defense I thought last year I got some Hurts and Brown stacks and with Smith a little bit. Didn't really go after Barkley because the Eagles really weren't. They weren't really an effective running team. And you look at that first game in Green Bay and Brazil, the defense was a sieve, but it was crazy points. And then, it took Fangio a little bit to get the defense going. He got that straightened out. That was an unbelievable, like a 180. I mean, nobody expected the Eagles defense to be where they were last year. But Barkley, but they give it to the quarterback. Barkley was the MVP last year. He carried the defense, and Barkley carried the team. Basically, every in the playoffs too. I mean, I was shaking on that Rams game because he hit that touchdown, but then Stafford, Jalen Carter made a play basically, but they were fortunate. It hurts. Like I told you guys, he got the MVP in the Super Bowl, but the Eagles were up 24-0 against the best team, best offense in football, shutting them out in the first half. It was Cooper DeJean getting the touchdown and then another interception to put him on the short, 14-yard line. Hurts was a quarterback. He got the MVP. He doesn't see the field right. If he's not running the ball. I mean, the only games he's been effective is his running stats. They don't run the RPO anymore. It's going to be we'll see tonight. They brought out the bunny and the vibe bunny in the locker room. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie's very low key. He's great. I think he's the best owner in the league, but he's been around. That's never okay. Rose, they're concerned. I mean, Lurie, if you remember, Eagles never paid wide receivers. We let T.O. go after that monster year, and he had 125 yards playing on one leg in the Super Bowl. They wouldn't renegotiate. He's got $57 million to tied up with wide receivers. He's got another 25 at running back at 50, 135 million, 4 players. And you're averaging 6 points in the second half the last 4 weeks. Sirianni's under a lot of pressure. He was a lame duck coach last year, really. I mean, who does what he did the first 3 years doesn't have a contract. I mean, they had to give it to him. They gave him the tool because he won the Super Bowl. I mean, look, he's the head coach, but it was really the coordinators and Howie Roseman. We'll see. I think Hurts got humbled. He's kind of – I think Michael – his head went with Michael Jordan started hanging around with him. I mean – it took him he's been at a lot of Eagle games. Let me tell you something. Hurts is as close to Michael Jordan, as the Earth is to Mars. I mean, he thinks he's a big. I mean, Hurts. AJ Brown is not the problem. I mean,
no, I agree with that.
How much of the?
I don't. I looked at it. The Chargers. 2 teams, the Redskins and the Colts, passed the ball well on them. I mean, Chargers have shut down the pass. Key is the Eagles going to win. They got to get the running game going. And the offensive line is either hurt, or not playing up the, snuff. And,
Lane Johnson's your guys' big offensive lineman that's hurt.
He hurts us. Becton, that was a mistake. Becton was a big key in the run game, and Jurgens, he's playing hurt. I mean, that's it's when he had to go out in the Minnesota game, the Eagles got passing game turned around because he couldn't. The backup center couldn't. He couldn't snap the ball in the shotgun, so he went under. We went under center with the play action. They went away. It worked, and they don't even stay with it. They don't even. We'll see. Tonight's going to be an interesting game. I mean, I think they win because Herbert's, who knows his health, and Eagles got more talent a little bit, and it's in a controlled environment. They've done well at SoFi, but it's it's a disjointed offense, really. It's been crazy this week, basically. we'll see. If Sirianni's going to get involved in the offense, I couldn't tell you. I don't have confidence. One of you guys mentioned Rams are the best team in the NFC.
Yes.
We got lucky.
Yes.
I was at that game. I was in the concourse when he kicked the field goal. I didn't even, I knew we won because you could hear the crowd. I didn't even know Jordan Davis ran it back until I hit until the subway back. Basically, I knew we won the game, but that was so lucky. And it was one guy that really turned it around. It was crazy catches by A.J. Brown. Wasn't great, it's to turn that.
I bet the Rams to win that game for the record.
I feel bad for you because they were the better team. I mean, I was happy. It's
Matt Stafford truther right here. He is an elite quarterback. He's showing it this year. I believe, and I'm a Drake May New England guy. I believe Matt Stafford is your MVP this year.
without question.
Yeah, I hate to take it away from Drake May, but I'm not being biased there. Calling it how I see it. Matt Stafford needs to be recognized as an elite NFL quarterback for sure.
Oh, he's by far he's the MVP this year. No
Yeah.
And McVay's the best coach in the league.
Nice.
He is so good. I mean, they were.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Dan. Dan, share your thoughts about tonight's game and give us your one prop for the evening. We have to get our folks set with our signature parlay.
Yeah, I really am stuck on this game a little bit. I don't want to give away. Well, it's Steve's bet. I'll go ahead and say is 42, under 42. I feel like it's going to be an under game. I feel like with Herbert's injury, I think both teams try to establish the run. I don't look for a lot of fireworks. Having said that, my bet is Quentin Johnson has 6 touchdowns and 180 yards for our primetime team.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Let's go QJ.
I really didn't see much that I liked today. Like I said, I like the under that Steve threw out there. Something Joey always does is he always wants to put somebody out there he's playing. So one thing I've hit, I think 3 of the last 4 bets is the longest catch. So let's go Quentin Johnson over his longest catch of 16.5 yards at -120. He's going to do it on the first drive.
Nice.
Hope so.
I like that, Dan. Josh, we'll kick it over to you. Give us a brief thought on how tonight's game might go, and share with us your prop bet.
I think the Chargers defense is going to play a little bit of a shell, a zone over the top from what my research is telling me. So the Eagles are going to have to pass the ball underneath, and I like Dallas Goedert for over 3.5 catches.
Nice. I like that.
I like that.
Joey?
I'm going with Omarion Hampton anytime touchdown. I am playing him, but I do think he's a better goal line back than Vidal. I mean, as a Vidal owner, I've had him, and I've watched him around the goal line, and he struggles. I mean, he can get in every now and then, but he's not really your featured goal line back. So I'm going to go Hampton. But I do think this game, I think both running backs will be involved for the Chargers because I think they want to protect Herbert, and this could go under, but I think Philly wins by a field goal, but it'll be close.
I agree. So I think Philly wins this game. I'm staying away from the over-under. I don't hate the under bet, but it wouldn't surprise me if Jalen Hurts showed up tonight and threw for 3 touchdowns. And with that being said, that's why I like my one prop bet to be an A.J. Brown anytime touchdown. I think he just uses his talent and his skill to just dominate tonight. I'm not saying he's going to get 2 or 3 touchdowns, but he's definitely going to scrap his way into the end zone for one tonight. And I think it's going to be a big one, and it's going to be the difference in the game. I could see if I had to put a prediction on the score, you guys know I like to predict the score every week. I could see Philadelphia winning this game 24-17, and A.J. Brown's touchdown being the difference in this game.
I think that makes sense.
And that's pretty much what I got. So Dan, did you happen to write it on the board? Do we have the
We just tweeted it out.
Nice. All right. So you could check out Dan's Twitter handle. We tweeted out each one of us gave one prop bet. There's 5 legs. Do with it as you will. If you like any, you can tell us. If you want to parlay it with us. We haven't hit one yet. So
We're as due as Quentin Johnston is.
I hope
This
so.
one tonight is $10 pays $12.03. So let's hit
Nice.
it. Let's hit it tonight.
Nice. You guys have any other thoughts you want to add before I give the closing statements?
Yeah, 31-0, and Justin Jefferson gets 2 for 11. I mean,
He's on my waiver wire. I'm done.
The last thing I said, I'd just like to thank you guys for having me on. The only thing I would mention is the Jets that, Mitchell was a big pickup. That was he was, quarterback going down. I think you think the air goes out of that balloon for the shootout, right? I mean, that was a real disappointment this week. I thought he was going to have, picked him up in a couple places of, put him in for, a couple injured players, what have you, London or, in Park or whatever. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, that was looked like it was a popular ad, last couple of weeks, and it's looked like it was going to bear fruit, but, who knows going forward with the quarterback situation.
Joe,
I agree with that, but at the same time, if you boys that's in the shootout maybe thinking your way, then you may want to just gamble and play him. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean,
low owner, that might be something to consider because you have to be different. I mean, a little bit. Don't tweak your lineups. Don't get too cute, but.
No, but if you do have a
You're
down week, if you do have a down week 1 and you look up at the leaderboard and you see how many players you're sharing with guys ahead of you, then you may want to get different and take a shot. So it's worth noting for sure.
I always said in the shootout rounds, the second week of the shootout to me is really the most crucial because, I mean, first week, I mean, you want to be halfway decent in the first week, but if you have a bad second week, then you're probably done. You need the second week of the shootouts really kind of jockeys you for position.
Yep.
I
like
that
that,
second
Joe.
week is really huge, in my opinion, to make a run at it, to stay up top or close that gap to give yourself a chance in week 17.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like in golf analogy, I think the shootout becomes like it becomes match play. You look in, depending where you are, and like you said, you get different. You gotta zig and zag.
Right.
We're playing for first. We're not playing for middle of the pack.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right. All right. Well, with that being said, it's pretty much kickoff time, so I don't want to hold you guys up much longer. Joey, Dan, Josh, Mike, appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in to the live stream on the Fantasy Savvy YouTube channel. If you're just tuning in now, go back and re-listen. It was a pretty good show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be here next Monday, same time, 7 p.m. We'll do it all over again for week 15. I got nothing else. Joey, Josh, Mike, thanks for joining again. Dan, everybody enjoyed tonight's game. Hope you all get what you need to win your fantasy matchups. We're out of here. Have a good night.